Hello everyone, I am once again joined by my father for another King Kong review. Say hi, Dad.
Hello.
In today's video, we are going to be looking at the 70s version of the remake to King Kong. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was okay. I'm not a real fan of it.
Right.
There was a lot of excitement around the time that it came out.
Right.
But there are a few things that I didn't like about it. I guess we'll talk about that.
Yeah. I'm on the same level. I don't hate this one. It's like, I find it boring and not, like, engaging or, like, interesting like the original one. The characters just don't, like, they don't grab me or do much for me. I find them, like, boring and just not interesting. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Yeah, I think so. One interesting thing is that Jessica Lange, it was her first film.
Who you all may recognize from American Horror Story for you youngsters out there.
And she defied the usual curse of the person who was introducing thing that they put in the film. She was
right.
It was introducing Jessica Lange. Most people that's done with usually don't do well in their careers, but Jessica Lange has had a great successful career. She's a very talented actress.
Around this time, I think she was just only a model around this time, and this is how she got like her breakout. And
right.
Because I actually read, like, when I was reading, like, during the making of this film, like, auditioning and who was supposed to do what, they originally thought of Meryl Streep, but the director of this film thought she was not pretty enough, and, well, the joke's on it. She's a very talented actress, and she's really had a great career, too, Meryl Streep.
She has had a great career, and pretty, too.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the other thing, too, about this film is there aren't any dinosaurs in it. Not like the original. There's no, like, stop motion, and, there's only, like, one scene where King Kong just fights a big giant snake. That's it. There's no...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that there is a problem with that. I mean, the special effects in the sense that, you know, the practical effects were good. I mean, they weren't bad. But my problem is Rick Baker in a suit.
Yeah.
I mean, because he doesn't move like a gorilla moves.
No.
He walks like a human.
Yeah.
And I think that takes away from the credibility.
True. Because, you know, in the original, the stop-motion effect was so awesome, and this is, like you said, a guy in a... I mean, I love Rick Baker. He's one of my favorite practical makeup artists. Anything Rick Baker does, you know, always... I mean, he never, like, fails me as a makeup artist, but at the same time, I agree with your point with what you're saying right there.
Right, and that's really... I don't mean to be demeaning to Rick Baker. He's really talented.
Oh, he is.
I love the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, like American Werewolf in London, and...
yeah, but I just wasn't crazy about this, the way things were done in this film.
Yeah. I hate to say it, I hate to say this... King Kong's kind of a sexual predator in this movie when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he makes, like, weird, like, remarked faces at Jessica Lange's character.
Yeah.
And,
well, I mean, there was a little of that in the original comic.
Well, true, but...
Not as much as in this
Yeah, this one is a little bit more creepy compared to the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, this was an anticipated film. It had... there was a lot of press about it, and then, of course, there was the construction of the... Dead Kong at the base of the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Which at the time, they had not been built too long before.
No, I think they were just like done in construction at that time with it. And they were like the newest buildings of New York City, and they were like considered the tallest building cities at that time.
Which they were.
Which they were, yeah. And one thing I'll give them credit, because this is a remake, at least it was not shot for shot, frame for frame, like what Peter Jackson did in the 2005 remake.
Right.
I like it out like it has some like nice visuals of like Kong on the Twin Towers, like again, like thinking like he's king of the world. That was pretty cool. Cool, decent shots.
Yeah, that was good. It was, and the way, you know, he with the firing of the helicopters, and the bullets and everything, that was very, very
brutal.
Brutal. Yeah.
I hate to say it, a lot more gore. Like, well, because this is in color, you're going to see the gore more than what in the 30s Kong, where it's in black and white. Well, again, that's. Yeah. And, what was I gonna say? Oh boy, brain freeze. I hate to...
Somebody that you knew that...
Oh, actually, I was gonna get to that. Somebody that we know worked at the World Trade Center during when the film was made. She told me that this was like the highlight of her life working at the World Trade Center, was seeing the King Kong suit, and she saw Jeff Bridges and Jessica Lange.
Yeah, that must have been pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, even though this is not one of my favorite of the Kong, but still, I would have been excited and thrilled to have seen the Kong suit and see the making of this film. It's, yeah. Oh, yeah, what I was going to say, too, is Charles Grodin is in this movie, and when I first saw this as, like, a little, like, when I was, like, 12 years old, I didn't even recognize that was him, because I know Charles Grodin from the Beethoven films of the 90s. That's my generation of how we know Charles Grodin.
And he was a less colorful character.
Yeah. But still, I thought he was a jerk, like a greedy business jerk, greedy man in a way.
Yeah, he was.
In a different way compared to Carl Denham.
Right. Carl Denham was more out for the getting Kong back and putting him on display.
Yeah.
And giving people a really good entertainment, whereas this was more motivated by greed.
Yeah. Well, at first he wanted to go to the island to find some oil. It's like, okay, since this is a remake, they're changing it up a little bit. I give him a little credit on that. Is that the best thing? No, but a little credit there. Small credit. Yeah. Then after when he sees Kong, he sees something bigger and better.
Yeah, and it's less exciting because there are no dinosaurs.
No.
The whole sequence with being in the jungle and chasing after Kong, it was like one thing after another, where they would encounter dangers, unseen dangers, in the forest, with different dinosaurs, etc.
Yeah,
and that is totally taken out from this movie, which really doesn't help the movie in overall.
Maybe because they just didn't have a proper budget for dinosaurs, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to say, like, why they didn't add dinosaurs. Or they were just maybe... I would also say they were trying a little bit too hard to make it, like, its own thing, to try to appeal to, like, the modern generation at that time for the 70s. And
well, I think that the only way they really would have been able to do it, since, King Kong is a guy in a suit, would have been to have dinosaurs as guys in dinosaur suits.
Right.
Which would have really not worked. I mean, that would have been too close to the Godzilla movies.
Yeah, in some ways. That's one way of, like, how basically, well, actually, I forgot to mention this earlier. I know that despite talking about this film, I should be talking about King Kong versus Godzilla and the Toho, King Kong Escapes, but you will see reviews of those eventually, but for now, we're sticking to just basic American Godzilla, basic King Kong films at the moment.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll see my King Kong versus Godzilla and Godzilla reviews. But anyway, yeah, I agree 100%. Without the dinosaurs, it doesn't make a Kong film very well.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's why one of the other reasons why I'm sort of like let down with this movie.
Yeah, I agree. That's a major factor, I think.
Yeah. And also, I hate to say, like, the set designs, like, when we see, like, Kong in the jungle, they kind of corny to me for some reason. They're not, like, as... like surreal like the original was with its atmospheric. You can just tell like they're fake sets. They're not really in a real jungle.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what made a big difference is that the sets in the original Kong were very stylized, being based on Gustave Doré's etchings. Right. And in that sense, they were very much fantastic and surreal.
Right. Do you remember as a kid when we went to Universal Studios, we went on the Universal ride of King Kong, and little did I know at that time that was the 70s. I hate to say, I think the ride was better than this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
But I admit, I went on that ride alone. It's hard to... I mean, you can watch it on YouTube, but it's just not the same. But when I was there as a little kid, seeing like how cool this was, where you really felt Kong was there on the ride.
Right.
Yeah. Then, like I said, little did I know this was the movie they were... referencing. I thought this was the 30s Kong they were referencing. Yeah. Too bad that ride is no longer there anymore.
No, now they have a different type.
Yeah, it's a Peter. I think because again, Peter Jackson's rise in popularity of his King Kong remake is why they had to change it up.
Which the ride is pretty good in its own right.
I'm sure it is, but I haven't been honest. I can't really say. Yeah. I know they wanted to also talk. Oh yeah. The part when Jessica Lange and Jeff Bridges are both like running away from Kong in New York City. little lesson right here. Don't stop for a drink. Like, who stops for a drink and when some big giant gorilla is trying to chase you?
Right, I know.
No.
Yeah.
That was like the lamest thing to do in order to run away from... I mean, okay, yeah, I get it. Like, all the running is tiring her out, but again, there's no rest for the weary for running away from a big giant gorilla.
Yeah, I think that didn't fit.
No, it didn't. No. But then again, I don't in a lot of these movies, people do dumb mistakes to when they're trying to survive horror movies. Anything else you have in mind that you want to touch upon for this movie?
No, that's all I have to add.
Yeah, same. There's really not much else I have to say about this film. I don't hate it. It's take it or leave it, but it's probably one I'm never going to go back to rewatching. And wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Yeah. Alright, so that was my review of King Kong 76. Like the video, subscribe, the notification bell to get the latest updates on my YouTube channel. And stay tuned for King Kong Lives. You never saw that one, right?
No, I never saw it.
You didn't miss anything. It's a complete skipper. You won't see him in the next review for that one. So, see you next time. Say bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.